All right, welcome. I was going to say welcome back, but it's actually just welcome because this is the very first episode of Built on Impact. We're chatting with founders in our community that are building impact driven brands and really embedding impact into everything they do. So, Brooke, before I give you the mic to do a quick intro, I feel like I need to tell on myself because, yes, the obvious, I am wearing a deep blue sweatshirt. When we were messaging about our first conversation, I'm like, should I wear the sweatshirt? Should I not? Does it look like I'm trying too hard? And so I wore some basic, boring cotton gray sweater. And so then when we had the chance to continue the conversation, I'm like, bump it. I'm wearing the sweatshirt. I love the sweatshirt. Moreover, I love the brand behind it. And so I think it's really cool that we get to kick off this series in this way. So for those that aren't actively wearing a deep blue sweatshirt and maybe don't know the brand, I'd love to just hand you the mic. Who are you? Where's home? And maybe a little bit about the brand Deep Blue.
Yeah, now I am wearing the boring basic
Not boring.
My name is Brooke. I'm the founder of Deep Blue. Deep Blue is a sustainable streetwear company. We make all of our products here in the United States, use only natural fabrics, and every single item pulls a pound of plastic from the ocean. I'm based in
And
Southern California, so I would say that this place has had a lot of influence on starting this company as I am a couple miles away from the beach at all times.
love it.
But I am from Chicago, so
I think wherever you live in the world, you can wear deep blue.
that's
In our earlier
right.
conversation, we chatted. So you are the founder. You've been doing this for how long?
Yeah, we
And
just had our 2-year anniversary
oh
in
my gosh,
February. Yeah.
amazing. And what does a normal day look like for you? I feel like so many people are so in awe of founders and there's so much built up hype on social media and then
Yeah.
there's like the really hard bit. So in this season, what does a normal day look like building Deep Blue?
I think that's pretty funny. I think my life is not glamorous at all, and it's very, very boring. And I think most people would probably fall asleep, when I'm telling you the things I do every day. I
Oh my
basically
gosh.
wake up and check my email, and then I have a coffee and then get straight to work for the entire day. So that's pretty much it. And I think most people are like, what do you do? What do you do? I literally just sit at a computer for probably 6, 7 hours a day and maybe more, depending on what's going on at the time. But it's not
Yeah.
very pretty.
Well, you are a true marketing wizard, which we'll get into in a little bit, but we'll recap the specifics. So, Deep Blue pulls a pound of plastic from the oceans and coastlines around the world with 4Ocean for every piece sold. It is literally in everything that you do and say. So, as a founder, why 4Ocean? Why the Clean Ocean Mission? And why 1 pound with every piece?
So basically, the brand was started after I had a trip to Bali, Indonesia. It was one of my biggest dreams to go there and just see all of the beauty that the island has to offer, and that I did. However, I did witness a severe amount of plastic pollution. And that's not the only place I had seen it. I had seen it traveling in Mexico and Haiti. And once I got to the other side of the world and I realized that it was there as well, it made me think how much there really is polluting the ocean, polluting the beaches, all of the marine environments. And as someone who loves the ocean so much and loves just any kind of activity having to do with the beach, snorkeling, diving, surfing, just going to the beach, living by the beach, it really is heartbreaking, especially knowing all of the beauty that the ocean has to offer, the creatures and what it provides to our planet. It was really hard to see what we are doing as humans to basically destroy one of the most beautiful parts of our planet. So I was in Bali and I wanted to find a way to do something about this. And I was actually walking on the beach that was covered in plastic, and I ran into the 4Ocean cleanup crew on the beach in Bali.
How
And
cool.
immediately after that, I was like, okay, this is it. I've got to go put something together to help contribute to this mission. And then I flew back home and started Deep Blue.
Amazing. And why fashion? I know we've had conversations about the fashion industry at large, but maybe where did that idea come from? Or, yeah, how did the mission of wanting to give back and clean up the ocean evolve into what the brand is today?
Yeah, I think that fashion is an overlooked industry when it comes to pollution. It's actually one of the
Yeah.
most polluting industries on Earth, and it's also the number one source of ocean microplastic pollution, which I think is completely unnecessary and avoidable because we just do not have to make clothing from plastic. And as a consumer, I had this frustration with the fashion industry. It seemed like no matter where I shopped, everything kind of had turned to fast fashion deep in its core. Maybe it's labeled as something different, but at the end of the day, they're made in the same way, in the same factories, by the same people that are being exploited, and the same plastic fabrics. So it was incredibly frustrating to me as a consumer. It was very difficult to find somewhere that I could shop without feeling incredibly guilty because
Yeah.
of what that purchase is doing, who's behind it, and what happens, after the garment has had a life.
Yeah.
And, secondary to that, clothing just does not last anymore. It's made with such poor quality and it falls apart and you pay like a high price for something and it's still not lasting
Yeah.
the way that it used to. So I looked at all of these issues with the fashion industry and I turned our product into a solution for that problem that can also contribute into in a positive way. So I look at Deep Blue as I want the products to actually have a positive impact on the planet, like a net positive after you look at every single life's like point in the garment's life cycle. I
Yeah.
want it to be positive at every single touch point. So that's why we use natural fabrics that are not synthetic, that are not plastic based, not even semi-synthetic, so that once you wash them, they're not releasing microplastics into the ocean. And even at the end of the garment's life, if they were to end up in a landfill, which I hope they would not,
Yeah.
they're made from cotton. So cotton fabrics biodegrade within 2 months once they reach a landfill or reach a biodegrading environment. However, synthetic fabrics can take up to 200 years. And to me, I think the solution is incredibly simple, where natural fabrics that are made well. But the problem is there's not a lot of access to that as consumers. So I saw this major gap in the industry and just filled it in.
Yeah, I think being one of your customers myself, I get to join in that mission regardless of where I live, and just by embracing the deep blue, kind of core energy, which is this is ethically made, uses natural ingredients, and it continues to give back to the planet. So I think it is amazing. We knew that your founding story was so deeply tied to the Clean Ocean mission, but I think for a lot of founders it stops there. They have this like aha moment, they want to do something, but then the story stops because they get focused on selling their product or pushing this collab. When the EcoDrive team thinks about who embeds impact into every single aspect of their business, their emails, their captions, their overall content, the label itself, Deep Blue, gets 5 stars, top of the list, because you continue to tell that story. You just hit a huge milestone, over 2,000 pounds pulled from the ocean, 2,244 to be exact. I just looked it up. Looking at your milestone post, you shared proof of the actual cleanups that you all are funding as a brand. I'm curious, as a founder with such a deep personal connection to those beaches, what does that mean to you? How does seeing the actual impact your brand is creating fuel you to kind of the next chapter of business?
Yeah, I think it puts a whole different meaning to running a business. It's not about selling products constantly. It's about telling people what they are able to do and the cause that they are supporting. And I think like when you say it's woven into every single thing that I do, I've spoken to other founders and they're often, I find that it kind of seems counterintuitive where they're like, well, we should be talking about the product. It's not about the product. It's about the purpose behind it and what this problem or what problem is being solved by the product. So every single thing that we do is to get closer and closer to having clean oceans. So every single piece of content that goes out there, it actually stands alone as a branch of the company, as advocacy and talking about issues for maybe people don't even want to buy clothing, but they can get information and they can learn things and they can be inspired.
Yeah.
And along same with the emails, like every single touch point of Deep Blue contributes to the mission, even if it's not about the product.
I hope there's a lot of future founders listening to this that are going to use this conversation and your advice to launch something in the future. What about your customers? Do you think they care about the pound of plastic? It's so apparent that it matters to you as a founder, but on the other side of things, how do you think it impacts the business?
Yeah, I think that it's refreshing to customers. That's something that I hear often, that they're so happy to have found a company that really stands with their values and is not only about making good products, but gives them the power to touch problems on the other side of the world. And that was the vision that I had when I started the company. And after traveling to 10 countries, I've seen that, there's a lot of people here that care about a lot of things, and they maybe just don't have the access to help the problems that they want to help. So after going there and seeing the problem and seeing the people here, I was just like, there's just a bridge that's missing.
Yeah.
So people, they really get a lot of purpose from being able to support the Clean Ocean mission, and not even just that, but making sure that their everyday purchases are ethical, sustainable, taking care of the people that are involved in the process.
Yeah. You really are connecting two worlds. You're building a brand, like you said, not by focusing on the product, but by inviting community to take part in the solution, which is something that will outlive the piece of clothing itself. What about founders? You just hit 2 years. 2 years probably feels like an eternity for you before you started the brand. But what would you say to someone who's thinking about starting an impact driven business, or yeah, what's just one piece of advice that you'd leave with a future or current founder who's figuring out how to juggle it all, and if they want to use their brand to make a difference?
Yeah, I think if you're going to start a good brand or a do good brand, it's kind of the best time to do that because you have such an unfair advantage against all of your competitors. There's so many things that you can do and say that they cannot. Use that to your advantage and go absolutely ham on those things because people are searching for that every single day and it's desperately needed. And it really is your unfair advantage. So find the thing that makes you different and just go absolutely ham on it. Scream it from the rooftops, post
Yeah.
it everywhere, market every single day. You have to completely remove yourself from your ego and any opinions of you ever, cut out the noise, don't listen to anyone, and just have the focus in your mind of the thing that you are going to achieve and strive to do that every single day, no matter what is placed in front of you.
I love it. I hope somebody is writing this down right now because this is good. This is good free advice, people. Listen to Brooke. Has a huge social following, has built a brand that, from my emails, is constantly out of stock, which if you want to get one of these sweatshirts right now, you better
The
act on it. You better go now. But Brooke, let's say they make it to a wait list. Where can they find you? How can they continue to listen to your story? And how can they match me right now?
You can find us at Planet Deep Blue on all social media platforms and planetdeepblue.org.
Amazing. Brooke, truly an honor to not only power your verified impact, but to shine the light on the story that you are telling as a brand, as a founder. We couldn't do this without you. And so when we think about why the Eco Drive community exists, it's because of stories just like these. Real people committed to real impact and using that real impact to change the world. So if you're a brand looking to embed impact into a campaign, an upcoming product launch, or like Brooke, into literally everything that you do, you can follow EcoDrive at EcoDrive on social. Check out ecodrive.community to learn more about our platform and overall brand community. And we look forward to more conversations just like this one. Amazing. Thank you so much, Brooke.
Awesome. Thank you.